most of us here may be HTML and CSS. They are the basic of web development. Trying to share my screen. Okay. So HTML and CSS, they're the basic of web development. And okay. So can you still see me? Because
yes.
Okay, good.
You can see
Yes,
your screen.
that's your screen.
I see my screen, so okay. So HTML and CSS is a very powerful tool for web development. They are like brothers and sisters. They go hand in hand. HTML is for building out the structure of web pages, while CSS is used to beautify the websites. 80% of websites or web pages, they are built with HTML. So CSS is used for styling and improve your UI. Because I'll show you a document without CSS, and you will see how it is. So without CSS, you just see structure, just words and no style. So you not really. That was how the early people. That was how they enjoyed websites, just plain like that. So with HTML and CSS, you build mobile friendly websites. So this is what we'll be learning in today's webinar. We're going to learn the fundamental structures of web pages. We'll learn semantic elements of HTML. We'll learn how to link pages and resources. We'll also learn how to style with CSS and other concepts of CSS like selectors, responsive design. And at the end of my presentation, if you have any question already, maybe how to get started or what you don't understand from my webinar, you can save them or you drop them in the chat so that Judith will be taking them. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, so let's start with HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is the foundation of web pages. Like it's a structure, like I said, structure, skeleton. So, but for these are HTML. We know HTML with tags. We use tags to identify HTML. Let me take you to my. Okay, today we're going to be using two different editors. This is a code pen. It's an online editor. I use it a lot. If I want to quickly debug a code or something, I use code pen. I want to quickly see results online, like it's a web application. And also we're using Visual Studio Code. I know some of you know this code editor. It's a very popular one used by most developers. So let me start up a new file to show you the structure of HTML. All HTML documents must end with, all HTML file must end with .html extension. Without this extension, you can't call it an HTML document. So this is it. So to start up your website or web page, our HTML is divided into two sections. We have the head and we have the body, and all these are called tags. HTML, this is HTML tag. So most elements have the opening and the closing tag. As you can see, this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. So you must, all your tags must be enclosed in the HTML tag, which is this one. Then inside the HTML tag, we have two tags. They're like a tree structure. We have the HTML, then we have the head and the body. We have the head and we have the body. So this head and the body, this is the basic structure of HTML. This is how it is. Then the head, what the head contains, what do I call it, like the engine, the what it needs to run um is contained in the head, while what you are seeing, the web page, is contained in the body. Are you following me?
Yes.
Okay. So back to talking about tags. What I showed you now, they're called tags. These are tags. We have this kind of tag, and we have self-closing tags. Some tags don't have this. I notice the difference between this and this. This second one has a slash, right? That shows the closing tag of this. Body has open and close. Head has head open and close. So we have self-closing tag, something like an image tag. This tag is for images. It's written like this. It's self-closing. We also have the break tag. And in HTML5, you can just do it like this. That you do it like this or you do it like this. They are both the same thing. So you have to note the ones that are self-closing and the one that are not self-closing. So we have the horizontal line, it's also a self-closing tag. So these are the kind of tags we have. So that's what I wrote in my slide here. We have paragraph tag is a container tag. It has open and close. Break is a self-closing. We call it empty tags or self-closing tags. So these are the two kinds of tags we have. So yeah, this is what I talked about earlier. We have the, excuse me, sorry. So like I said earlier, we have the HTML document divided into the main structure. We have the head and we have the body. So the body is everything, all visible elements, all you can see, the head, the media, the paragraph, everything you can see is in the body. You are, as the name implies, body tag, everything in the body. Why head is what happened behind the scene, just like the engine. It has a link to other documents, the styles, the script, the title, and metadata. That's what you see in the head section of the document. So I have a quick question for everybody. I want to know your answer. Is HTML a programming language? I'm waiting. So I'm heading for the chat now. Let me see your reply there. So yeah, I can see a no. Can I get more replies? Okay, yes. No, okay. So what is the reason why those that said no or those that said yes? Okay, someone said it's a markup language. Okay. No, it's a markup language. Okay. Okay. The answer is no. HTML is not a programming language. It's not a programming language. HTML is a markup language. Now, what is a markup language and what is a programming language? Okay. So a programming language, for you to call a language a programming language, it has to involve computations and logic. You have to use loops, variables, conditional statements, all those things that are language specific. You have to use OOP if it's many all those programming language properties. We have example here like your JavaScript, your Python, your Java, C++, C Sharp, all these are programming languages. But what is a markup language? Markup language are used for content structure or presentation. So in the markup language, you use tags, as we can see as HTML. We have tags, the head tag, the paragraph tags. Those are what you can see in markup language. So I gave you an example of markup languages. We have XML, we have HTML. These are markup language. So next time, if someone arguing with you, HTML, tell them no, it is not. HTML is never a programming language because you cannot impute variables there. You cannot do looping. You cannot do any of the programming language properties or qualities in a markup language. Yeah. So that was just a quick question to take out from everything. So these are what you should know. I'm not covering everything in this lecture, but HTML, once you know all this here, you are good to go. You can, once you know all these things here, you can you can build out an HTML page. You learn the links and navigations. All these are tags. So we are talking about tags. Then your forms, how to create forms in HTML and the input types. Then when you have to learn to make tables. We'll touch on this, some of this. We'll touch on all of them. I think only form I'm talking about here. But if time permits, you can still touch on forms. Then we have multimedia, how to embed images, audios, and videos in your HTML document. So now let's head over to my VS Code. So here, this is an HTML. The core of time, I don't want to write out this on our call. So this is how if you can see from my structure, we have the head, which I talked about, and the body, right? Look at the body all to the end. So you can see that that's the three, what I showed you here, that we have three main tags: the head, like the HTML that house the head and the body, right? So that's what we have here. No matter how big, even though if you can even have 1,000 lines of code in HTML, you must have those three tags first: the HTML tag, the head tag, and the body tag. So that is what this page is about. Then in your body, in the head, you can see we have a title, the title of your document. And maybe if it's pages of your website, here can be home page, can name it maybe about, title. Just give your page a title or a name. Then you have the meta. This meta here helps with responsiveness. This one is UTF-8 is what you call it, is a default. The char code or char set is a default with W3. Then we have this is how to write comments. I removed this, so I want to show you this page without CSS, but this is a link. This is how we link to styles. So coming to the body, you can check. We use the semantic HTML. This is the header. In the header, you put headings. We have 6 headings. We have H1 to H6 in HTML, and you have different sizes. I'll show you that later in the video. Okay, now we have the main section. We have the header and the main. So when it comes to, as the name implies, we have header, main, and footer. In those are the three like subdivision inside the body. You have the header section, main, and the footer. So as we our document into 3, then the main should contain all your content. The head should contain what you want, maybe your hero, this you want to be at the top of your page. Then the footer, footer now in your website, you can have your copyrights, you can have links to different part of your. Let me show you in our .campus website. You can see we have the head. Your head can be up to this point. Most times you can put your hero in your header section, not head. Don't confuse yourself. We have the head, which I talk about, which has almost all the engine or what you need to run your website. Then we have the header, which is one of the semantic HTML elements, which used to house the head or the top, how I put it, the head of your page, right? Then we have the main that has all the body. Everything you want to be inside can be in the main. Then we have the footer. Here's the footer. Okay. Then we also have something called We have something called other portions inside that main. You have your article where you can put wordings like this. You have your sections. This is a section. In the section like you divide something your page into sections. Okay, this one is for a table, this one is for a list, so just a way of dividing your content. So you can use section for that, article for write-ups. Then we have aside. If you want to have an aside in your website, maybe some pages can divide it into two, left and right side, so you can use aside for something like that. So those are the useful semantic HTML tags we use. Then from this page, I talk about the H1, then this H2. So I talk about in headings, this H1, H2, they're called the headings, and we have 6 headings: H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. So it's like a hierarchy. Let me show that to you here. So is a hierarchy. It decreases in size as you go down the okay. So when you feel like you save your document and so look at what I'm talking about. So when it comes to heading, we have is hierarchy. This is the first one, is the biggest, the H2. So and our browser understands this heading one like as the topmost level of header when it's for SEO reason. So you might this H1 choose it like the main part of your website. Somewhere like here, like the main what you want them to see, the main information, you can use your H1 for it. Then something that is not that important, this can be H3. You can make it as bold as you want with CSS if you want, but your tags you don't use H1 and reduce it to become small. No, your browser will understand it as a H1, like which is like the topmost heading in your document. So use it based on the importance. If it's not that important, you can use H5. But when you're using it, you can now make it bigger or smaller as the case may be. But this is how these are the 6 headings we have in HTML. So back to our document. So you can see that I will check this article and they're the same level. So I will use H2 for it. And this is a table. This is how you make tables in HTML with the table row and table data and headings. So now let's view this page. Let's view it and know. Let's view this page. So this is how the page looks like. This is our table. The main thing you can see here, we have the table head and the table data. Then these are those 2 H2s. This is the H1. So these are lists. In HTML, we have ordered list and unordered list. Here is it. So we have unordered list. UL is unordered. UL will use bullet points. And you can choose your bullet point style as you like. Then we have ordered list. It has numberings. Look at it here. OL is ordered list. Then UL is another list. So these are our HTML without style. So imagine how your website looks, and you put anywhere else. See how beautiful this website is now. Just imagine removing the HTML and CSS from this website. You will see how ugly it will look. And I don't know, you might have seen it. So when you load the website and maybe no network, or it's taking time to load, or even your Google Mail, sometimes you load it, but it's not enough that a network will show you the HTML structure. You be like, so what is this? Yeah, you feel like I don't understand. So that's how it is without CSS. It look just plain and um no beauty. Just you read it, okay, yeah, you can read it, and that's it. So but with CSS, we can now style our we can now style our website. So now let's head to CSS from here. CSS stands for cascading style sheet. Before I continue, let me check our group chat and know if my people are still with me or people have left me. Okay. We are all here, right? Any questions so far? Okay, David, do you have a question?
No, 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 no. I wanted to do something. Go ahead, please.
Okay, any question?
There's a question. There's a question from Maureen. She says, "What is metadata?"
Okay, what is meta, right?
Metadata.
Metadata. Metadata is how do I put it now? Layman language. Metadata is coming. So metadata are, how do I put it? They are I'm the right way to put it for you now. It's
Yeah, I
just
can jump in.
okay, you can help me. A way you
Yeah.
understand it.
So metadata is basically it's typically used for SEO. So for instance, if you want um, your website to be described in a certain way by SEO, you also use it to set things like this viewport.
Yeah,
That's to actually set your scaling so that your website
responsiveness.
scales responsively to browsers. But you also use it to set the name of your website, the author of the website, like the description of your website, and things like
Yeah,
that, so that
every
the
other thing.
SEO understands what your website is about. The search engines, rather, search engines. So I used SEO, but it's actually search engine optimization. So
Yeah.
search engines like Google or Bing will understand what your website is about.
Thank you so much. Exactly. It's for the browser. It's for the browser to understand your website better. That's what metadata is for. Thank you, Theo, for helping me out here. Okay. So we are proceeding with CSS. If no questions so far. So CSS bring life to the HTML document. And I've already showed you, I showed you a website that has beautiful CSS, and I showed you our website now that has no CSS. I see the way just plain, no colors, um no padding, no anything. So this is how a document looks without CSS. So you can use CSS to apply styles to all. In fact, you can accept those tags at the header, except those heading no, except those tags in the head like the title tag and link tag, script tag. Other body tags can be styled. You can add colors, you can add layouts, you can add animations to your tags. Okay, then we have three ways to apply styles to our HTML document. You can use the inline styles. These inline styles, you add the styles to the tag. As you can see here, this is H1 tag, right? Then we add the style attributes. Then this is style. Here we added padding and we increase the size of the font by 50 pixel. And we give this paragraph a style of color red. So this is one of the styles, way to style, inline styles. Then we have internal styles. This one will add the styles to the head. And then you can see in my image here, you add the style to the head. This is the head, right? Remember our head. Sorry, I'm gone. So remember our head tag. So we added the styles in the head. Then it is the body will get it because it's in the head, right? So we have the third way of adding styles to our document, which is the external. Here you create a new file, but the file must have a .css extension. So you have the .css extension. You write your styling in that file, then you will link it to your HTML file using the words link tag, as you can see here. So these are the three ways to style HTML documents. So that's now when you look at these three ways of styling, they have advantages and disadvantages. But the best way to style your document is by creating an external file and linking it to your HTML file, because it will make your code cleaner and it'll be easy to maintain and easy to debug, and everything good with external styles. You may think, I know I have more files there. It's not bad. If you have a lot of style sheets or HTML, you can create folders for them. So normally you have the styles folder, we have your HTML folders, you get. So that is it. So here now I'm going to use I'll show you how to use the other method. But for this document, I'm going to use the external style sheets. We use the link tag to do that. This rel is relationship. This describe what kind of this link. Now you use it to link other things. Use to link an icon. Can use to link other you want to link other external documents to your HTML. We use a link tag. So then this relationship will tell you what is it. So this one tells us that this is a style sheet. Then this is the name of our style sheet. That's it. So if you have a different name, you can put a different name of your style sheet here. So now we've linked our style. We've saved it. Let's check out our document now. So this is our document now with the CSS. You can see how beautiful it's looking. Very basic, but very beautiful, because even our image now, like you can see how the page, everything is now, but what you set actually is what you put there. You put margin for us, you put margin, put padding, and make our table beautiful. Let's go through the styles on this styles file, and so as well, I'll explain it while we check it out on our page. So here this is the body. You can style the body. You can use that body or use use asterisk. This one is style. Asterisk means style all, like style everything on the page with this. Why body? You just style the body, like everything inside. This body now is the body tag. So this will style everything inside the body. Then we have the header. These are all the tags we have. So here we are basically styling all the tags in the HTML. But this is not a very good approach to styling, because styling like this will affect all the H1 on your document, will affect all the H2s, will affect all the paragraphs, which is not, you don't want this color now. Okay, let me go back to our HTML. So now with this style here, if you can want to change, if you want to add something else to this paragraph, I don't want to be Now that style we have on that style sheet, this style here will affect all the paragraph. So you can have something like this, but maybe now I want to add color. If you want, maybe want to add a red color to just this paragraph and not this paragraph. How will you do that? Because if you add it here, it will affect all the paragraphs. Everything that's paragraph will become red, right? And we don't want that. We only want to put, for instance, our success story now. We want here to be red. We don't want here and here to be red. So that's why this styling, I don't really advise styling the main tags. Instead, you should use class names or ID. You can use ID or class names, but we'll get to that. Later in this webinar. So what we have here now, these are things we can style. We have the font family. This is like the text. Like we call it writing, right? Writing. Which writing do you want? What means writing? For those that don't know anything about programming that's here with us, we call it like your handwriting. That's what is font family. So yeah, we have Roboto is handwriting. Let me show you some other handwritings we have. You can check Google Fonts. So these are different fonts we have. You call font family. So you can see that these are Roboto. So you can come if you want to look for fonts, use Google Fonts to get fonts that you like. So you may want to use this for your website, it's fine. You just come and download, or you download the font name and family and files for your document. So these are different fonts. So this is what we call here the font family. Then we have line height, we have your margin, your padding. We'll talk about this later in the webinar. This background color, like the background everywhere. Let's change it. Let's know what will happen. Let's put any color. Let's pick from the wheel. Oh. So now we've changed. That's background color, like the color of everywhere. That's background. So now we've changed the background color of our document. I think we have background color. You can change background color of every what do you call it? Let's change something else. You can change background color of every tag or element. Let's change. Okay, here's the background color already. So let me revert our change that we did because I don't want to use blue. Okay, so now this is our header. Now we have a background color of this purple, which is this. This is the background color of our header. Then this is our main. We didn't put. Okay, remember our main, right? I told you that our main we had like we put everything inside our main. You can also give it a background color if you like. If you like, and give it a background color. Just want to show you. So this is it. So this is the main. So this is our main. Now we've given it a color. If you want it, I saw some like if you want like a book, you can have different colors like this if you want. So this is the main section. You have the main, you have our footer, yeah, it's different. So the main section, you can give it a color if you want, but I don't think we want that. So let's revert that. So we have our headings. This is font styles. Size is how big or how small you want it to be. So these are units of measurement. We have the pixel measurements, we have the rem, we have the em, we have the VH, VW. These are all units. Here's the pixel. So we have you can use VH on this document. You have percentage also. You can use percentages as your units. So sometimes in CSS, you do try and error. You may not really know, okay, I want this to be here, I want this to be here. You may not really know how many pixel you use, how many rems, or how many what do you call it? You don't know the size. But when you're working with it, unless but in some files they can specify your sizes for you, but if not, you can keep adjusting and adjusting till you get the size that you want for your element. Okay, so that's one about font size. I told you we'll talk about margin later. Then we have max width. Max width is like the maximum width you want your document to be. This max width of this main is that main that I showed you now. Let me put back our color. Oh. Okay, now that 200 pixel is a bit of here to here, from here to here. That's that max width. So you can meaning it shouldn't go more than this. That's what it means. So you can increase it. Oh, sorry, 800. You can increase it or decrease it. Okay, let's decrease it. Let's say we don't know what we are doing, right? We start with maybe 400. Are you seeing it? 400. Let me make it 200. So keep shrinking our document to fit the max width of our container. So that main is the container. So we want it to be small. He said no problem. He kept on reducing, and it is how mobile responsiveness also works. You keep on shrinking it to the size of your container. So this is what's happened. So you keep doing it now till you get the size of your preferred. You'll be like, oh, this one is too big. I want it smaller. You can readjust it again. So it's not rocket science. So that's how you work with max width. Then what else here? Talk about border. We want to remove border, to collapse the border of the element. We'll talk about border too later. Border is border. Talk about later. So we have text align. To align your text, we have to align your text to the left. If you're working with a Microsoft Word, you should know text alignment. We have justify, we have center, we have left, we have right, So those are text alignments also in HTML. Then we have display. Display is how do you want your element to be displayed. You want to be hidden, want to be displayed as a block, display that as the other properties of the display element. Let me pull it up for you. Display. So here what we have the block, as a content, as flex box, grid, So, but we want to display it as a block. So we'll talk about flex later in the video, about how to display your elements as a flex using flex box. Yeah. So this is the basic of this style here for this website. Okay, so use CSS to make our pages beautiful. Okay, I want to talk about other links, right? So when you talk about so like I was saying, we have 3 ways of styling our document. We talk about this is the external. Then we have the internal, which you create a style tag in the head of a document. You create a style tag. Then you can now add your styles here. What should we style? Okay, let's try out something. Did we remove that red color? No, not here. Okay, we removed it. So I want to add paragraph here. Let's make our paragraphs red. Let's know what happened. So you can see that it works. Like you can put your styles here. So if you check, it's like it has hierarchy. This one, the external is best. Then put it in here. You can manage it, but it will make your document so, imagine having normally now you have 200 lines of CSS here. Imagine having it here, having all of them here. You have to keep scrolling before you get to your HTML. You can easily separate concerns and put it in a new file. So filing system is better than putting all your code in one document. So this is another way of styling in your head tag. So the third method of styling is, I'll come back to this. I want to try out something because is inline styles. Adding your style here. Using the style, every element has its style attributes. You put the style here. Color. We can use background color since we have used color a lot. Background color. Aquamarine. So look at it. We've added a background color to this using inline styles. So our inline styles to have the highest priority. Just like how, let's for instance, like it's the closest to the element, right? This is the closest to the element. If we have this thing here now, okay, it will not, okay. I'll talk about, let's give it, when we talk about names, we'll come back to it. So, but imagine here, you have, maybe now you put this style here, and meaning for this inline style, you have to put it in all elements, one by one. You cannot just style all the paragraphs with inline styles, and you come here, you do the same thing. You come here. In today's learners ratio, we learned about keeping our code dry. Don't repeat yourself. Then imagine coming and doing it like this because you don't want to create your own CSS file so that your website gets, too clumsy. And if maybe in the future you say, okay, I want to change this color from this aqua to red. Imagine going through, if it's running how big the file is, you start going through everywhere to change this color back to the color. But if you have used your style sheets, either this one, which is not good, but you can manage it, or here you can easily go to that. You can easily go to that the place you made the change and just change only that one place. It affects the rest of the document. So it's best to use the external style sheets. So that's what I'm trying to explain here, that you should not, yeah, it's fast, you see your results very quickly, but you shouldn't use this. Okay, so moving on, we'll talk about the 3 ways to style our documents. So now let's talk about the selectors. Earlier I talked about styling the whole document. Imagine you want to make this this paragraph red, and you want here to still be black. You want here to be black. What will you do? Just check the time now. Okay, what will you do if you want to style just that paragraph? Then we use what we call, we have selectors, we have ID, and we have class selectors. So the ID is unique, just like your name. Or if you have ID number, only you has it, only you have that name. You cannot share it or use it for any other element. But the class is like a group. So and many can use it, but ID only one can use it. Let me show you what I mean. So now for this class, this paragraph, now maybe now we can give it a class. Okay, no, let's start with that one I want. Let's give it an ID. So only want to make only this paragraph red, right? So we'll give it an ID. You can give it any name. So let's call it red paragraph just for this, or you can call it success story. We want to call it something that will make us understand, but let's call it success story. And since success color is green, let's make it green. So now we give it an ID, right? ID. Then we go to our style sheet. Let's arrange it. Let's put it below here to see a paragraph. Then for ID, we use #, hashtag, to identify to style ID. We use the pound or hash sign. So let's call it green because green is color of success. Green. So as you can see, just this paragraph is green. But you see that, if you have other, you can still start your paragraph. Like now, when it starts to be this, is fine. We want this to be this. So we can still use the paragraph, start paragraph. But another way of doing this group, if you want the same thing to happen to multiple elements, you can use the class. Class is like a group. So now let's give all the H2 groups. Let's give it a class. A class of, let's call it heading. So this heading class, you save. In your styling, we use, how do I open this document? In your styling, we use period or dot to identify classes. So we named it heading, right? So let's give it a color. We have color here. Okay, let's give it a color, but we have to take out this one. But even if you leave it, I think this one we'll check it out. We'll have more prominence because he's the closest because of the class name. So let's give it a class of color red. So you can see that this can call it, let's give it more style, maybe color red, background color. Oh, I'm supposed to put semicolon here. Background color aqua. So this is it. So we want to apply the same thing here and all our H2s. What will you do? You will give those tags, those class names. So you come here, it's the same class name. You give it to all of them. So any it may not even be H2. You can even give it to. You can give it to anything. You can add the class here if you want here to be that same color. You add it there. So if you want to use a style or something, you give it a name of class. So you can use it in multiple places. So now look at this paragraph. Now we give it the class name of heading, which has a color and the background. So that will happen here. So that's about class selectors. So this is what we'll talk about: the margin, the padding, and the border of elements. And it's called the CSS box model. The box, every element is visualized as a box. It has the margin, the border, and the padding. So let's touch on that. I think I used my code pen. You can still use it. Okay, we can move it over to the other side since we have been working there. But for time's sake, let me just copy this over. So let's go back to our test. And we have let's create a paragraph tag. Let's use class box. Let's use head here because we can. Okay. So now this is these. Let me stop. Okay. Okay. Judith, are we still on? Okay, I have a hand. Kelvin, do you want to say something? Hello?
Kevin has dropped his hand.
Okay. Any questions so far, or should I continue?
No question from me. Just to call your attention to time. We're almost out of time.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I now, can we get questions?
You can just continue. Kelvin says he's trying to arrange his question.
Okay, Judith, we are still on time, right?
We have 2 minutes to the time.
Okay. What happened to our time today? Oh my God. Okay. Oh, let me explain the box model. Or let's take questions. I don't know if you can. Do you have, Kelvin said you have questions you want to ask.
Yeah, he's probably preparing his question. I'm sure
Okay.
when he has put it together, he would ask.
Well, the call drop. Did it drop? Okay, let me quickly explain this. The box model. So yeah, this is it. Every element is like a box. Let's use this is that kind of box I showed you on our slide. So we have, this is the main content of the main content, which is the paragraph here. This is the main content. Then we have, this is it, 60 by 60, right? Then we have padding. We have a padding is the space inside. We use padding to give space inside an element. Then we use margin to give outside. But before the margin outside, look at this, like space from the outside is called margin. White space inside is called padding. Then we have a border. This is the border. This is the border. So we have let's adjust our border. Let's maybe put 1 pixel. So right now, small border is just there. So that's a border. Then this hello now, if you want more space, if you want this hello to go out from here, you can use padding. Padding is space inside. Why I saying it? We have moved away from here, like inside the element, inside the container. Okay, we have that is, we call it padding. Then the one outside, want to move away from the walls of the page, you use what? Margin. So that's basically I can explain margin and padding. So I can explain here the concept of box sizing. To use box sizing is very important. If you move this box sizing, now with box sizing, with this now, you can style based on your size of your document, size of your element rather. So with this, if you want to check the total size of your element, you can add the margin, the padding. Look at it here now. Our element now, we have the total. If you check from here, so that we have 102 by 102. That's the whole box. This including the padding and margin. So that's called border box to include everything. But if you remove that border box, if you take it out, you will now use, like, it will keep taking spaces. It will just add everything and it will give you its own look at it now. It just, the box, that 100, that width of 100, this width of 100 is just the box. Then other things outside will now add their own space. That's this. This is what's inside. This is the 100 pixel. They will now have 50 padding. We have our 1 border. Then we have our 50 margin. But if you want everything to be 100, we'll use our box sizing to border box and this should be a content box. But when you put this box sizing, meaning everything I do, everything should just be 100. That's what one I use most times. Let everything just be within this my 100 pixel. Because if you remove it, if you don't put the border box, it's going to use everywhere for the styling. So that's why that's about the CSS box model. Then these are what you should know when it comes to CSS. You should know how to use your selectors, your box model, flexible layout. This is very helpful for responsiveness. We have the flex box, we have the CSS grid. Then we make responsive designs using media queries and the mobile first approach. Then you learn how to position elements on your page. We have relative positioning, absolute, fixed, and sticky positioning. Then you also have to learn to, most companies, we don't use just this vanilla CSS, which I'm explaining to you now. We use frameworks that are built on CSS. We have Chakra UI, we have material design, we have Tailwind, Bomber CSS, there's so many of them. So, but for now, why very popular people use it a lot these days is the Tailwind CSS. So I advise you, when you're comfortable with CSS, you can learn one of the framework, preferably Tailwind CSS. Then we have preprocessors. This one, you can learn it or you shouldn't. I feel you can learn this when you need it. So it's not, let me put it optional. Shouldn't want to learn this yet. It's very optional. Then you can learn how to do animations in CSS. These are what you should know in CSS. Then let's talk about responsive designs. Now we have 3 ways of making our website responsive. We can use fluid units, we can use media queries, or we can use flexible layout, which is using grid. Yeah, I can see your hand up.
Yes, just to remind you about the time, and then we have a question in the comment
Okay.
section.
Okay, this question, right? Could you throw more light
Yeah.
on difference between margin and padding? Okay, now I'm trying to tell you that margin is a space inside an element, something like this. No, this is inside, right? This is hello. This is inside the box. This is inside the box. So padding is a space inside. So you can put one more space from the top, use padding top. One more space from the left, use padding left. Then margin is a space outside. This is outside of my box, right? Outside my box, that one you call it margin. Margin. Remember your book those days now in school, we have margin. You want to buy a size book, but you want to have margin. Margin is like space away from the end. Understand? So just use that